Hello, scholars, and welcome. My name is Brian Gazzetta, and I'll be your professor for the next 8 weeks in POL 452, Organizational Theory and Design. The intent of this video is to review our syllabus so that we all have a firm understanding of the expectations of this course, the, the assignments that are going to be associated with this course, and some of the rules, especially when it comes to our late policy and our deadlines for this course. So my hope is that after reviewing this quick video, you have a clear understanding of what is going to be expected of you as a student and what I'm looking for. So hopefully we can answer all those questions. So here we go. We know the course description. Students will use classical and current literature to examine the fundamental questions guiding organizational theory and public administration with an emphasis on reconciling democracy with bureaucratic principles and behavior. As we scroll down, you're going to come across my instructor contact information. And what you see there is my email address. Email is going to be our single form of communication in this class. And I understand that as ops students, communication is critical. And I understand that. I am a product of the DPA and MPA program here at Cal Baptist on the online version in OPS. So I understand that when you need information or when you have questions, you expect or you require and almost demand prompt return of that. So if you email me, I am like any other individual these days. We are infinitely connected, I believe. When you email me, something buzzes, beeps, chirps, either in my pocket or on my desktop or on my laptop, and my goal is to get every one of your emails answered as quickly as possible. If you have any concerns, comments, issues with this course, email me and I will do everything I can to get information back to you as soon as possible. If I can't get the information back to you right away, I'll at least contact you and let you know that and give you a timeline of when I can get those answers corrected. But as in any online course, communication is key. We don't have the liberty of seeing one another in a classroom. So if you have any concerns or questions, the communication is the key. And the communication gateway is through this email address. So let's all keep that in mind and utilize it as needed. By this point, we should all have received or have our Jones text, Organizational Theory, Design, and Change, the 7th edition. And we should have already opened that, cracked it, looked through that book, and got an understanding of what this book on organizational theory, design, and change is about. You will then see the course objectives that you will see listed here, objective 1, 2, and 3, and then they with their subcategories. And then throughout the course, you're going to see how each one of your assignments and each one of your readings has a designator, like it following it will be 1.1 or 2.2. So that shows how each one of the assignments is connected to a course objective. And then also with the student learning outcomes for your degree path and our university student outcomes. We then go into our assignment overview. And for this course, we're going to have a multimedia self-introduction. We have that in week 1. That's where you're going to create a narrated PowerPoint and you are going to share that with us. That's going to be our way of actually getting to know one another when we don't have the liberty to talk to one another in a classroom. We also have discussion boards for each within this course. We have written assignments, journals, tests, and a critical assignment. And each week, you're going to get a video from me. And each week, the video outlines not only the assignments for that given week, a recap of the previous week, a lecture, but also kind of to keep this critical assignment in mind, kind of keep us with looking forward and understanding that we do have that critical assignment. And each week, one of those videos, it's going to go in detail on what the deliverables, what the assignments that week are going to do. So not only are you going to get the syllabus, a critical assignment video, but you'll also get a weekly video from me. And those are typically come out every Sunday because I make them per the week and it addresses any issues we had in the previous weeks. I forecast what we can anticipate in the weeks to come and maybe tackle any of the issues that are pertinent to that given week. We then have the assessment policies. We have our grade breakdown. You can review that and see the points that are awarded for each one of your assignments and our grade breakdown. With our checking grades, be sure that your grades, you can find that via My Grades in Blackboard. And then we have our breakdown here of weekly assignments. Now, the one thing that we need to clarify is that in this course, it is definitely based upon weeks. And I strictly enforce the fact that we are on a weekly schedule. You have week one assignments, followed by week two, and then throughout our eighth week. Our work weeks or our school weeks start on Monday and they extend through Sunday. All of your assignments are due by Sunday at 11:59, with 12 midnight being the start of the next week. Now that gives you an entire week, 7 days to get your assignments done. And as op students, we know that the most critical element to being a successful op student is time management. And I understand that you are all probably working adults, as I was when I went through my various programs. So I understand that as working adults, we have a work week, we have work schedules, we have life, we have family, we have activities, we have children. All of those integrate, and that's why you have 7 days to get your assignments complete. So be diligent with your efforts, and especially mindful of your time management. But just to reiterate, Monday through Sunday is a week. So week one's going to start on Monday. It will finish on Sunday, and everything is due when you see your assignments. Those assignments are due by 11:59 on Sunday. And as you can see, you have 2 to 3 deliverables each week, and you can review that. And once again, I will give you a weekly video that will outline specifically the information and that we need to be mindful of for each one of these. Like many of your classes, you understand that there are uh, due dates that are a little bit farther forward in the week during week 8. That is because the university forces us as professors to get your work graded by the end of term so that you can start your next term. So that's why a lot of these assignments in week 8 are due a few days earlier, because that gives us literally the weekend to get everything graded, because we need to have everything graded by the end of the week. So that's why your critical assignments. As we get closer, I'll give you numerous reminders of the due dates in week 8. Then you'll see your expectations on professionalism, regular effective contact. Lancer mail should be used for all email communications and checked on a daily basis. I'll tell you that I will try that 24 hours is my maximum, and I'll do everything that I can to get that uh, um, back to you even sooner. Timely feedback, 24 hours, and then timely feedback for assessed work is 72 hours per the policy. And what I do in this course is I do all my grading on Monday. I wait for the due date is on Sunday, and then I do all my grading on Monday. So you will have feedback the day after the due date. Now, if you're one of the diligent students who's turning in your assignment early in the week, you're not going to get it graded from me until Monday, because I want to get everybody's work together and then I grade them all at once. So, but just keep that in mind. If you do turn something in early, I will wait to get to the due date and then the Monday afterwards. Because once again, I know that you want timely feedback. I will wait to get them all, and then I will push them all out to you. So by Monday evening, you should have all your work graded for the previous week. Late assignments. Now, this is a critical one, and we're going to go through this in detail because my late policy is specific to me, and this might be different than some of your professors. My late policy, in essence, is that there is no late work accepted, with very few exceptions. So let me read through this. CBU and online professional studies require all course instructors to provide students with their individual late policies for each section. Late policies are strictly adhered to unless deviation is approved by the course instructor prior to the due date, or unless verifiable, extreme, and unforeseen circumstances prevail. And please find your instructor's late policy for this course below. So here is my policy. No late assignment will be accepted without instructor approval or a bona fide emergency and at the sole discretion of the professor. Computer, printer, email, and similar technical problems are not acceptable excuses for late work. If you anticipate a problem, illness, potentially family emergency, etc., let the professor know as soon as possible. Email messages are checked regularly. No makeup work opportunity will be given except under the most extenuating circumstances and at the sole discretion of the professor. No assignments submitted will receive a 0 and will be calculated into the gradebook. Acceptance of late work cannot receive full credit no matter how perfect it is. Late assignments will be deducted 10% of the value of the given assignment for every day it is late. No assignment will be accepted beyond 1 week of the original due date. No exception. Discussion board, intended to promote dialogue among participants, cannot be submitted past the predetermined due date because of the required interaction. And then the critical assignment and final exam are time sensitive and do need to be submitted as scheduled. No late work, no exceptions. And then no late work will be accepted after the course end date. So let me break that down and make it clear. I understand that as humans, as working adults, that emergencies are going to occur. I have emergencies, you have emergencies, I understand that. If you have an emergency and you cannot get your work in by the end of the week, email me before the end of the week and say, hey, I'm not going to be able to make the deadline because of blank. You'll probably get an email back from me that says, I accept your late work request. I understand that we are going to have emergencies. And if it's a bona fide emergency, I will accept late work. What I've given you is the opportunity to turn it in late. Then you understand that none of the late work that is given permission can receive full credit. So even if you give me a perfect assignment, it's going to be deducted 10% per day. After 7 days, I'm not going to accept it at all. One, you've already lost 70%. And with the pace of this course, we've already moved on from that assignment, and it's almost irrelevant that you produce it for points at this point because the pace of this course moves at such a quick pace. Discussion boards are the whole premise of a discussion board is that we interact with one another, and that takes the place of the dialogue that we would have in the classroom. The premise is that you present a topic and then you reply to a couple of your classmates or your colleagues and you add to the conversation. So you cannot turn that in late because once you turn it late, there is no conversation. The conversation has ended. So no discussion boards are allowed. And then the critical assignment and the final exam. So the key is if you have an emergency, email me. Let me know. I'm a lenient individual. I have a life as well. I know emergencies occur. But you need to communicate. The key to everything we've talked about so far, and especially the late policy, is constant and frequent communication. If you have an issue, talk to me. If you have an emergency, talk to me. And we'll be able to work around almost anything. Lack of communication, on the other hand, is an issue. You can't email me on Tuesday and say I had an emergency. It needs to be before the end of the due date. So I feel that that's fairly clear. There's also netiquette, academic honesty, and our students with disabilities. And if any of those, these are common in all of your courses and all of your syllabuses. So there is our review of this course's syllabus. If you have any additional questions, concerns, or comments on the syllabus, you can contact me and I'll hopefully clarify. And with that being said, you can anticipate a few other videos coming from me in the weeks to come or the days to come. One will have a video on your critical assignment, and you will also have a video released each week on week 1, week 2, week 3, and so on that will be detailed that specific week. So I look forward to our weeks together. I'll be praying for all of you. I hope that we have a successful 8 weeks, a productive 8 weeks, and that we really dive into this concept of organizational theory and design. So bye for now.